So I've gotten a few games in with the Bully Boys, and I have a few thoughts. I thought maybe they would help you as the new Orc Codex comes out, of where you would go with them. So my first initial thoughts are: I do believe Bully Boys are going to come out the gate as the first Orc list most people try. I don't know if it's going to be the most like powerful Orc list. I think it's going to be sort of the standard of it's going to be compared to all the other Orc lists. If it can beat Bully Boys, it's probably a good list, is what I'm thinking. Why? I just think that there's going to be some stuff that people are going to bring out for Green Tide, or more specifically Dread Mob, when you start seeing tons of Grot tanks. I think we're going to get into something crazy there. But anyway, back to Bully Boys. I've played a few times. I've played into Custodes, Tyranids, and the third one was into Death Guard. And so this is by no stretch professional. I've played these dozens of games. I know every in and out. This is my initial tryout with them, and so far I'm doing really well. The thing about the list is it just puts so much tough meat right where you need it that it's very hard for your opponent to deal with. And it makes it easy on the player to ask the big question and make your opponent answer it. And if they make a mistake, then you just capitalize on that mistake. So first, let's talk about my list. The biggest thing is, do you include Gaz or not? And I think Gaz is nice to have on this list. I don't think he's super necessary because all of your attacks are Power Claws or Twin Kill Saws. So you're looking at Strength 10 plus. So I'd rather have just more stuff on the table. Because I feel like the problem with this list is you can get bogged down and then you're stuck, especially like if you don't kill something in one round. And so now you're stuck in combat with them and you can't fall back in charge. You sort of have to grind it out. And you want to be grinding it out all over the table, not in a specific spot. Well, you have more stuff, you can spread out better. So Gaz is a big points investment. I'm not saying he's bad. I just don't think he's worth it for this list specifically. Green Tide, I would never leave without him. Not Dreadmon. Dreadmon wouldn't take him at all. But in Bully Boys, I don't think he's necessary. I think you can take him. I think you'd be happy taking him. I think I'd rather just have more stuff for me. So, the biggest thing you want to be careful of with Orcs, I think right now is your list is going to have 7 or 8 characters between War Bosses and Mega Armor War Bosses and Snickrot and whatever else. So, the problem you're going to run into is they take Assassination, and then if you take all the vehicles, they take Bring It Down, and suddenly their secondaries are super easy. Assassination might be a little bit of a trap because they're going to have to dig through some meat to get to the Mega Armor War Bosses. I feel like people aren't going to have a problem getting to the Knob War Bosses or the Snickrot if they really want to. So, Assassination is going to be pretty good versus this list, or these lists, but you want to limit the vehicles to Bring It Down. Now, my second one, I really like the list itself. It does have 3 trucks and a battle wagon, which is exactly what I talked about, where they take that secondary combination and suddenly they're just scoring points by just playing the game, which is not ideal. The thing about Bully Boys, though, I think, is that you have to have a Mega Armor War Boss with Teleporta with 6 Mega Knobs. If you're not doing that, I don't know why you're running Bully Boys in particular. Otherwise, run War Horde or any other detachment. You want that combo. Now, with my list, you might notice that I don't have 18 Mega Knobs and I don't have 30 knobs. And the reason for that is mostly I don't own the models and I'm not buying a whole boatload of boys right before a codex drops and suddenly Mega Knobs go to 45 points a model. I'm not taking the risk. All right, I can wait out a little bit. I can wait, even how hard it is sometimes. It gets tempting to buy this stuff, especially when you're so hyped. But some of the things to think about, I think, are with your Mega Knobs, do you want to run 5 or 6? 6 if you're deep striking, 5 if you're going to the truck. And then, the thing about Mega Knobs is since they're so granular, you can take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, is you can sort of fill out your points adjusting accordingly. I think that personally, I like as many as possible in a unit because you want them to get all of your meat in one spot. Then they're stuck with you. And I think, I don't know, there's probably something out there that will grind out the knobs, especially on a wah turn, on the mega knobs specifically. I just don't know what it is. It's got to be something with high toughness, good invul, and a lot of wounds. Because sort of the other weakness of the list is that twin kill sus have 2 attacks apiece, and it's just less than ideal. So anyway, how did the list play exactly? So far, I've not played any serious gun lines. Now, if you play a gun line, you're probably going to wah on one. But since I didn't play gun lines, I sort of played against grindy melee or semi-shooting, semi-melee armies. I did not wah on one because I had trucks and a battle wagon. Just to, if they shoot those out, great. If not, even better. Turn 1, move up and just get right on the center zones. If you can just barely touch the no man's land's objectives without putting yourself out there for like every charge, like if, for example, if you're still in your trucks, or if you're in your battle wagon, or if you sort of just get, if you want to bait them in with a charge or two, that is awesome. Now you don't want to put up so far forward that they just charge you with everything and then you just die, but that's ideal. So on turn 1, that happens. Turn 2, you wah, you get out of the trucks, you charge, you do your thing, and then hopefully you hit something, you hit it really hard, then they try to hit you back, and then under the wall you're just too durable, and it just snowballs from there. Now, that's the ideal scenario. What I find happening most of the time is by the end of the game, I have like 2 or 3 units, usually grots in like a truck, maybe snick grot, and they're sort of just hanging around, and I'm trying to prevent my opponent from scoring points because I've scored the primary points turn 2, 3, 4, but they're 4 and 5. They're trying to swing it back with like when I have no models left. Because once the wah is done, this list is slow. This list is not very tough, and it's quite a bit pillow fisted comparatively. Especially when you get used to like having 9 attack war bosses for basically the entire game. It feels great, and then it feels really bad if you don't have it anymore. What that means is I think Bully Boyz is going to be the list to compare all the other orc lists to. If they can compare, if they can do as well as Bully Boyz, that's going to be the gold standard. I think there's going to be lists in that codex that's going to be better. Specifically, I think Green Tide or Dread Mob. Green Tide for, you know, tons of Boy Silliness, and Dread Mob because grot tanks are going to be ridiculous. And if you want to lose friends, run 24 grot tanks. But I think they're going to compare it to Bully Boyz. You just see that the most often. I think it's going to be a fun list. I think most people have the models. All of these things are going to coalesce into this one list being good. And it's also nice for a tournament because it's a little bit on the simpler side, which means rounds 2 and 3 and so on. It's going to be a lot easier for you to make your decisions than for, you know, a complicated army like that or something. Well, anyway, let me know if you've tried this, tried out Bully Boyz yet, or if you're still waiting for the book before you send anything down. Probably wise that way, since how I'm operating with half of the information I need. But if you tried them out, let me know. And you know, do the whole like subscribe thing if you want, or you know, don't. I don't care. Just do what you want. See ya.